This is a presentation about Dr. Gina Green, a researcher and public policy advocate for behavior analysts. Dr. Green began her career by earning her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology in 1973 and her Master of Arts in Educational Psychology in 1975 from Michigan State University. In 1986, she earned her Doctor of Philosophy and Analysis of Behavior from Utah State University. She began her research career when she received an opportunity to move to Boston in 1989 and work at the Eunice Kennedy Shriver Center to work with Murray Sidman, another researcher in the area of behavior analysis. The EKSC was a developmental research institution concentrating on stimulus control, and this was accomplished with learning labs and applied programs in the local area, including the New England Center for Children. And in 1991, Dr. Green also began working in tandem with both centers by becoming the liaison between the two. Her research included reinforcement, discrimination learning, reflexivity, transitivity, stimulus control, and more. Towards the end of her 12-year tenure in Boston, Dr. Green began working more often with local behavioral analysis organizations and associations, and by the time she moved to San Diego in 2001, she was working more often with these types of groups. And some of these groups included the Association for Behavior Analysis International, during which her tenure there, she became the president. The Behavior Analysis Certification Board, and part of her tenure there, she was on the board of directors from 2002 to 2008, and she was also at one point the chair of the Continuing Education Committee. She is a fellow of the American Psychological Association. She's also a fellow of the Association for Behavior Analysis International, and she co-founded the Association of Professional Behavior Analysts in 2007. She is currently the CEO of the APPA as of 2017. During her career, she was given quite a few awards, and these are just the highlights. In 2000, she was awarded the Mental Health Professional of the Year by Psychology Today. The California Association for Behavioral Analysis awarded her the Outstanding Contributions to Behavior Analysis Award in 2013. Also in 2013, New York State Association for Behavior Analysis awarded her the John W. Jacobson Award for contributions to behavior analysis. Also, the Berkshire Association for Behavior Analysis and Therapy awarded her the Sidman Award for enduring contributions to applied behavior analysis in 2014. I specifically mentioned the last two awards because Jacobson and Sidman are well known for their research and impact on behavior analysis, and she worked with both of them in research. In 2014, Autism Speaks awarded her the Provider of the Year. In 2017, the BACB, for which she worked and volunteered, awarded her the Michael Hemingway Award. And just this year, in 2018, California Association for Behavior Analysis awarded her the Gerald L. Shook Advocacy Award. The impact of Dr. Green's work, she has devoted her career to better the lives of people with autism and other developmental disabilities through behavior analysis. She began by researching strategies and approaches to teaching children in order to improve known procedures and processes, such as prompting techniques and stimulus equivalents and intensive behavior treatment programming. These methods were designed to increase the skills of people with developmental disabilities, and specifically with autism. From the early 1960s, researchers have proven that these techniques were successful in developing these disabilities, and Dr. Green continued these investigations into how to expand and compare the procedures in order to progress the field of behavioral analysis. However, once she began working with professional organizations such as the BACB and the ABAI, Dr. Green became more involved in the professional interests of behavior analysts. When she became a volunteer on the board of directors of the BACB, she realized that the number of ABA practitioners was growing exponentially, and she recognized that there was a necessity for this profession to grow, meaning that there were requirements for credentialing programs, funding resources, public policy advocacy, practitioner training, and in 2007, Dr. Green co-founded the APBA. It was a standalone startup organization concentrating on the professional needs and benefits of behavioral analysts, and she became its chief executive officer in 2017. I conducted a mock interview So I didn't really hold an interview with Dr. Green, but these were questions that I would have asked her in a mock interview if I had had the opportunity to. And the answers that I'm going to provide to these questions are based on research that I conducted about Dr. Gina Green through articles and that I've read about her and interviews that other people have had with her that I have documented in the references that I've provided. So the first question is, why did you decide to specialize in the analysis of behavior for your PhD after earning your master's in educational psychology? And Dr. Green explained that she had taken this introduction to psychology course that included a section on operant conditioning with videos from Skinner. And the professor that she took the course from had also included some of Lovas's work with children with autism and how they developed language. And she was fascinated by that information. Later, she had taken a class from Heinrich Fitzgerald on classical conditioning with infants and how that applied to childcare. And she said, frankly, she was more drawn to that than she was on the clinical class she was taking on child-centered play therapy, and she was involved in, and she was working with a child with autism. And she said the little girl in this class was flapping and screeching, and she was supposed to be using reflective techniques with her and telling her, I see that you're flapping and I hear that you're screeching. And she could see that this reflective technique that she was using was just not going to work. And so after she earned her master's, she searched for schools with programs in behavioral analysis, and Utah State won. So that's where she decided to attend. The second question is, after working so long in research, how did you make the move to working with the public policy side of the profession? And based on the research, Dr. Green said that after she joined the BACB and volunteered on the board of directors there, she saw the need for professional credentialing programs. And in addition, she truly recognized that the number of practitioners was growing, and so the profession needed to grow as well. Requirements were necessary, including funding for grants, education, and research. There wasn't a true standalone organization that stood up for practitioners with legislative bodies. And so Dr. Green and her colleagues founded the Association of Professional Behavior Analysts. What does the Association of Professional Behavior Analysts do as an organization, and how does it impact the profession as a whole? The APBA advocates for public policies and laws that affect behavioral analysts. They promote providing resources and educational opportunities for practitioners. Members work with other behavioral organizations within localities, within states, within provinces, and other countries to ensure that licensure and other regulations that govern public and private health insurance, educational funding, and support for other services best meet the needs of practitioners and their clients. The fourth question seems to really be at the heart of a lot of what Dr. Green believes in. Why is credentialing of practitioners so important? And I saw a lot of articles on this. She stated that credentialing provides a way to differentiate trained and experienced practitioners from those who may not have the appropriate education or proficiency. Those who obtain credentials must pass an exam within the requirements set forth by the profession itself, in addition to any regulations and laws that might already be in place. The credential must be maintained regularly. Therefore, only those practitioners who hold the credential can actually call themselves behavioral analysts. What are the future challenges for the profession of applied behavior analysts? And Dr. Green saw many challenges within the profession, and she was very clear on these points. The first challenge she saw was in getting good licensure laws established everywhere, in every state, across the nation, across many other countries. She said that regulation protects the science, the consumers, the right to practice. Second, policies that tie in with health insurance for billing purposes were critical. She said that it would benefit not just practitioners in the long run to be recognized as health professionals, but also the consumers. Third, she said training of future practitioners in basic principles and procedures and in being a professional. There needed to be basic understanding of the rules and regulations about holding a license. She also advised that there needed to be more basic training in critical thinking and how the scientific method worked, and in analyzing interventions and evidence to make sure that the consumers were getting the best practice available. And lastly, she said there needed to be an increase in business skills, such as basic business operating skills, legal skills, accounting skills, because if a practitioner wanted to operate an ethical and successful practice, they were going to need all of these skills in order to do so. That was my presentation on Dr. Gina Green. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned about how Dr. Green became a successful behavioral analyst and how she continues to have an impact on the profession. Thank you.